Hello, this is Amin, and you are watching session 22 of ASP.NET Core tutorial. In this session, we are going to create a list view and show all the recorded costs in the database and show all the records in our view. For this purpose, we should first add one declaration in our ICostRepository, and it should be IEnumerable and IEnumerable of cost, and we call it get all cost. Then we should implement this declaration in a static cost repository, the only repository we have for our ICost repository. And you can see the declaration and the implementation in a static cost. Later, we need some changes in our cost controller and create list action method. And within action method, we restore all the record with cost repository and store it in model. Then we pass the model data to view, and later on view we use model directive, and we create a model directive of IEnumerable of daily cost web application models cost, and then we retrieve our data and records with for each within our view. Let's implement it in Visual Studio, and let's flip to Visual Studio for implementation these changes. This is the project that we have been working throughout this tutorial. Let's first add the declaration in the ICost repository as I described in our slides. The output of this declaration should be IEnumerable, and it should be cost, and we name it get all cost, and there is no any input parameters. Let's save it and go to the repository that we implemented from ICost repository. We create two static repository for this purpose. We don't need this repository anymore. That's why I delete this repository, and I just implement the changes in the static cost repository that I have here. If you see, we have one red line under ICost repository because it has one declaration and one method that I haven't implemented yet. With control period, I add the declaration, and here I have the method that I should implement in my static cost repository, and I implement it and return all the costs that I have here. And with this piece of code, I return all the static records that I stored here, as you can see. Let's save it and back to cost controller. If you remember, during previous session, I create one list view with auto generation code. I don't want to use it because it has some piece of code that I haven't reached them, and I will describe it in further session. That's why I rename it to list auto generation, and I will create one list view with the knowledge that we have until this session. And here I store my records in model. When I use var and I don't specify any type, it can be any type, and it can be even a list or even a object or a string. That's why I can use var instead of a specific type. And with cost repository, I restore get all cost, Here I retrieve all the static record in a static cost repository and store it in model. Then I pass this model to view. Later in view, in cost, I create one view with name of list and delete all the auto-generated part, and I add one HTML template here, and also I use model directive, and the model directive is IEnumerable, and it is daily cost web application, name of my web application, inside models and cost. Okay, in the body of my view, I add a table, and inside my table, I add one T head for header. Inside T head, I add one table row, and inside table row, I add the title of my table with 4 table data. Let's copy it. And I mentioned ID, amount, category, and comment as well. Also, I will add one T-body, and inside my T-body, I should restore all the records. For restoring all the records, I should use foreach, and I said var cost in model. With this piece of code, I catch all the records that are stored in the model, and here let's copy it from here and paste it here, and instead of this static code, I use cost.id for restoring ID, cost.amount, and cost.category, and the last one is cost.comment. And this is the code that I should write in the view. Let's save it. Let's run the project and see the results. This is the home index, and I should go to cost and this time list. As you can see, I restore all the data from repository, and it could be from the database, and also we will add Bootstrap for styling this table, and we can do Bootstrap style in further session. That's it in this session. Thank you for watching this session. Text version of this tutorial is available in our website and in description of this video. Also, link of our social network channel are available in description of this video. Thank you again for watching us.